So today I want to talk about cop. Well, I want to talk about a cop, but I want to talk about support for cops, and I want to kind of just tell you guys a story on why, just one of the reasons why I support cops. But basically, I got this idea of making this video because I was watching, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Jubilee, but Jubilee's in a sense, a YouTube channel that does, it's kind of a cool concept where like, okay, so to give you an idea, like they put Charlie Kirk, there's this style of episode they do called Surrounded. So they put like Charlie Kirk, he's a conservative podcaster. They put him, or conservative commentator. They put him in the middle, and the show's called Surrounded, and he's surrounded by 25 liberal kids. So they make claims, and then people come up and debate them. So one of the episodes is one cop versus 25 criminals, surrounded. And he's making claims, and they're going at it. And I'm not going to lie, it's just very clearly like I know I'm on the right side when I support cops, because the cop is like 25-year vet. He's very eloquent. You can tell he stands on business. You can tell he's a good man. You can tell he wanted to be a cop for the right reasons. And the criminal is like, I mean, yeah, there are some that come in there that they've rehabilitated their life, and I guess they get some good points. But then they're just like, it's just generally just moronic ideas. Like one cop sits down, or one criminal is just like, I think they're all bad. They all need to die. And it's just like, all right, loser. We need cops, so, and nobody should die. So like, you know, there's good crime. It's just funny. It's like there's always bad eggs. So like the cop makes a good point of like, cops are human beings. Are there bad eggs everywhere? Yes. So there are bad cops, and good cops hate bad cops even worse because they give them bad names. But so yes, are there going to be bad cops out there? Yes. But generally, a claim he makes is like cops they want the job because it is a crappy, hard job. It's almost like a thankless job. And especially nowadays with the climate. Like when I was a kid, we treated cops way differently than they treat them now. Now, yes, there are some bad videos out there, but generally cops become cops. Not for the pay, not for some great gratification, just because like of how I wanted to be a soldier. They want to help innocent people, and if they have to, you know, sacrifice themselves so others may live. You know what I'm saying? It's a very noble job to have. I will always love and respect cops. I always wanted to be a cop when I was a kid. And then, 9/11 happened, so I took a trajectory into the military. And that's, you know, really, that's the honest God truth. I always was going to be a cop after high school, and then I joined the military. So, and then now I'm here. So, the story I want to tell you guys is when I was a kid, okay, they did this thing in my town that was called Shop with a Cop, okay? And basically, the cops from our community, and trust me, I was always on like Salvation Army trees. We were very poor. I think at this time I was living in Section 8. We were very poor. So, and I wanted to be a cop. So I luckily got onto this list. My mom did actually fight to get me on this list. And you get to they did like a little like town circle, so you get to be in the cop car. I was like a little kid. I want to say I was like 8, 9, or 10. I was just very young. I want to say I was like 9 or 10. But you're riding the cop, so they took us to Walmart, shop with a cop, and each cop, like now in retrospect, now I can speak on knowing that the cops had a budget, okay, but it's their own money. But like typically it was a budget allocated, right? Like they say, like, hey guys, you're going to take these less fortunate kids, you're going to take them to Walmart for Christmas. And they not rented out Walmart, but it was really cool. They kind of did shut down like half of Walmart, like the toy section. So these cops could take us shopping. And it was a cool community thing. Now, I'm going to tell you that to tell you this. So basically they had a budget. So we walk in and I meet this cop named Willie, okay? Now, mind you, I knew this cop for like the next 5, 6 years of my life, and it fell off, and I'm really sad about that. But he gives me a badge, jump in the car. All the kids, we all get in the individual cars of our cops. And some cops got multiple kids, like the SUV cops who had SUVs at the time, they got like 3 kids. But I got lucky enough to just be singular with Willie. Like show up early in the morning, he was like drinking coffee, I got to meet him. I looked up to him, he was my first, I didn't have a dad, so this was like my first hero. And it was just like, for me, it was just an amazing feeling that I was gonna just even get to hang out with a cop. Now, he did kind of like, he saw in me that I wanted to be a cop, and he saw how excited I was. So we walk into Walmart. Now, old school Walmart, if you guys know, over by the toy section, you know how it has like the bikes, and then it has the electric like cars, like those like toy plastic cars. And now they have like crazy Maseratis, they have like crazy stuff, right? But when I was growing up, it was like those little Jeeps, right? Now we walk by those Jeeps, and he says something like, oh, this would be kind of cool. Now when I was a kid, they were like $300. They were pretty expensive, $300, $400, $500. They were expensive. But like, They're not probably what they are now. But we walked by them, and I'll never forget this. He said, like, oh, that would be kind of cool to get. And I go, yeah, like, we'll look around. He's like, but we're here to shop, brother. Like, what are you thinking? And I'm like, oh, we'll look around, but we'll see. Now, he takes me now. I was like a Lego G.I. Joe guy, board games. I liked all that. So, like, we take this cart, and we're, like, going down the aisles, and he's letting me, like, essentially pick whatever I want. Now, I am, like, having pause at that, because when you're a poor kid, in a toy aisle, you don't act like, a lot of these normal kids, or like if I had kids, how I would treat them, like actually let them pick out things. You're always kind of like looking at the person you're with, like, I don't want to seem greedy, but at the same time, like, is this cool? And he just kept going like, yeah, throw it in. I'm picking Lego sets. Like, I'm just like, this is the best Christmas I've ever had up to this point, and probably in my entire childhood, after that point. So basically, we load the car up with a bunch of stuff, and my kid brain doesn't realize that, like, obviously how math works and how money works and how a budget works. So I'm still thinking, like in the back of my head, I'm still thinking he pointed out the Jeep because he wanted to buy it for me. So we, like, finish filling this cart with toys, and then we're walking down the main aisle, and he's like, all right, man. And, like, some people are leaving to go and check out, and some kids are getting like 3, 4, 5 toys from their cop, the cops, because they're doing the right thing, obviously, like, they're sticking to a budget. We get down to the cars, and I go, all right, so what do you think, Willie? Like, I like that red one. And he, like, looks at me, like, and he just genuinely, I would just never forget, he went, yeah, I like it too. And he bought me this car. And, like, all the moms and parents are at the cash registers, because they're, like, waiting for their kids to show up with Willie. They, back then we didn't have, like, social media like crazy, but they did want to, like, be there to, like, maybe take pictures. And I think there was a Santa there taking pictures anyway. But he gets a worker, and we roll up to the cash register with a giant electronic Jeep that I'm going to get to sit in and drive now, which would already be a dream toy for someone who grew up in my life, and a cart full of toys. It was insane. My mom starts crying, and it's just like, what is going on right now? I obviously I'll never know, and my mom never told me, but I'm telling you guys, the budget was probably a couple $100. And this cop, essentially probably almost spent almost $1,000 on this kid he just met that day. And I would like to think, obviously, he saw the genuinely me just being happy, and it wasn't a greed thing. I would like to think I came off that way. But I don't even think he was doing it because he's a good man. Okay, so I say that to say this. And it's not just that one story. There is thousands and millions and trillions of stories of people talking about how cops go out of their way or spend their own money to better their community. So I tell you that story because I just want you to start to think as a civilian, whatever you think about cops, I just want you to think of the amount of immense pressure they're under, how underpaid they are, and how hard a cop is actually to be, and like how thankless of a job it is. And I want you to think about that before you immediately go to, all cops should die, all cops are bad, they're all horrible, oh, they pulled me over when I was speeding, gosh darn it, like, well, you were speeding. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need cops to have a functioning society. Any society that started from the ground up starts with, all right, let's have a community. Okay, who's going to police the community? That's almost the first thing you have to come up with. How do we want to run it? How are we going to feed ourselves? What are we going to build? Oh, wait, and who's going to police this community? So we need them. No matter what you are thinking watching this video, we need cops. So, and generally, I would almost say 99.9 of them are amazing. I've had a bunch of cop encounters in my life as a grown man, and some of them obviously are negative about what they are, but generally, if it was I can always kind of say like it was my fault, but generally, they've all been good encounters. They haven't been douchebag encounters. Now, yes, are there the ones that got shoved in, the cop says in the Jubilee video, like, yes, were there the ones that got shoved in the lockers and now they have a God complex or they want to, like, get back? Sure. They're out there. Got it. But generally, I just want you guys to realize that they go through a lot, and if we support them, then it would be that much easier for them to relax and de-escalate situations and not have to come in there so high strung because they feel like just everybody hates them and is against them automatically. Okay? So think about that.